it's amazing, like, how a health thing can just kind of hit you out of the blue.
Yeah.
Or, like, you think something's in the past, and then, boom, it's back, and it's affecting you now. The articles you sent this time, wow,
Yeah.
they're all about how our health can be messed up by things that happened way back or just recently.
Exactly. And I think what all these stories really highlight is just how complex our bodies are
Yeah.
and how everything's kind of connected, like our past and present.
Mm.
It's all tangled up together. So today we're going to look at all these wild health journeys. And it all started with Adam Devine.
Totally.
He's been talking about how his childhood accident is still affecting him now.
And it's crazy, right? We have all these news articles about celebrities and their health, and it's like everything from injuries to like delayed reactions from old stuff and even some diagnoses that, you don't expect.
Right.
So in this deep dive, we really want to get into how health can be affected by the unexpected, whether it's right now or years later.
Yeah.
We want to break it down and pull out some important lessons for everyone listening. So Adam Devine.
Yeah, let's start there.
He's been through a lot lately.
He has. The reports you sent over indicate that in the last year, Adam's had some pretty serious health scares.
Yeah.
He's been dealing with these like full body spasms. And what's really scary is that at one point, doctors thought he might not make it.
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. And they first thought it was stiff person syndrome.
Yeah, SPS, the same thing Celine Dion has.
Right, exactly.
It's a neurological disorder.
Yeah.
Where your muscles, they just keep getting stiffer and stiffer.
Oh, wow. So I remember Adam said it can even affect your heart. Like it can stop it from working right.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an autoimmune disorder. So your body's basically attacking its own nerve cells in the spine and brain.
It's like your body's fighting against itself. That's so messed up. And imagine getting that diagnosis just a month before your kid is born.
Oh, man.
That's like a whole other level of stress.
Absolutely. Must have been a really tough time.
The good news is that like 6 months later, they said it wasn't SPS after all.
Yeah, big relief, I'm sure.
Huge relief.
But even with that good news, he was still in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
He said he could only walk a short distance before his muscles would just lock up.
Oh, my God.
So he kept seeing different doctors, and finally, they figured out what was going on. All these muscle problems he's having now, they're actually from that accident he had when he was a kid, when he got hit by that cement truck.
It's crazy how the body remembers these things.
It really is. And it shows you that even if you think you're over something, like physically healed, it can still come back and bite you, especially if you add more stress to your body.
Like our past isn't really past, not for our bodies.
Exactly.
It's wild, right? It's like all these years later, and this thing from his childhood is causing these problems now. It took a while to connect the dots.
It did. And it really makes you think about how our past experiences can have these delayed effects on our health.
I remember he posted a picture on Instagram back in 2017, like a throwback photo.
Yeah.
And he talked about how he couldn't even walk for 2 years after that accident.
Wow.
He had to learn how to walk again, had skin grafts, and was in so much pain.
I can't even imagine. That's awful.
And get this, he thinks that starting those intense workouts like cycling and CrossFit a few years ago might have triggered everything.
Oh, wow.
He's like, his body, which was already messed up from the accident, just couldn't handle it.
Interesting.
It's kind of like what you were saying about how stress can make old injuries flare up.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a wake-up call for anyone who's been through a major injury or trauma, You might have to be careful with certain types of exercise. Even if it's good for you in general, it could cause problems in the long run.
Right, and we often think of our health in these separate boxes like past and present, or this body part versus that one. But these stories show us that it's all connected in ways we don't always realize. Now, Adam's experience is obviously unique to him, but it's not the only example of, like, unexpected health stuff happening.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah.
It just shows you how unpredictable health can be, no matter who you are, even celebrities.
Right.
And we've got a bunch of other examples here, like Jason Tartick. Remember him from The Bachelor?
Yeah.
He had this crazy back pain recently.
I remember reading about that, yeah. He said it was so bad after an RV trip that he had to crawl to the hospital.
Yeah, he had tingling in his legs, too.
And he said he could squat, like, almost 300 pounds just a few weeks before.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he couldn't even do a one-legged squat without falling over.
Wow.
Like Adam, his body just seemed to give out under stress.
It really shows you how quickly these things can happen. 1 minute you're fine, the next minute you can barely move.
It's scary.
It is, but the good news is he's seeing a specialist now, and using steroids, so hopefully he'll be back to normal soon.
Fingers crossed. And then there was that scary thing with Casey Fitzgerald, the hockey player.
Oh, yeah, that was rough.
He got cut on the neck by another player's skate blade during a game.
25 stitches, can you believe it?
I know. His dad, Tom Fitzgerald, who's like the general manager for the New Jersey Devils,
Yeah.
he was so relieved when Casey was okay.
Rightfully so.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that could have been so much worse.
It's a reminder that these sports, they can be really dangerous.
They can. Even if you're a pro, accidents happen.
And it's not just internal stuff, right? We've also got stories about how external things, like accidents, can affect people's health.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that sometimes things just happen, and they can have a huge impact on your health. And of course, there are things like heart attacks, which can just come out of nowhere.
And we can't forget about those either, right?
Right.
Matt Kirschenheiter, Gina Kirschenheiter's ex-husband from Real Housewives of Orange County.
Yeah, I remember that.
He had a heart attack back in March, but thankfully he's okay.
That's good to hear. It's scary how common heart problems are these days.
And then Tracy Morgan, remember he had that medical scare at the Knicks game?
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing the pictures of him being wheeled out. It was all over the news.
Everyone was worried.
Yeah, but luckily it turned out to be just food poisoning, nothing too serious.
Thank goodness. And then there's Christy Carlson Romano.
Oh, what happened with her?
Her story is unbelievable. She got shot in the face.
What? How?
It was a total freak accident. She was at a clay pigeon shooting thing, and someone in another group accidentally fired their gun.
Oh, my God.
And it hit her. Like, the bullet fragments hit her in multiple places.
That's terrifying.
And one of them is lodged super close to her eye.
Oh, my God.
Like less than an inch away. They said it's too risky to remove it surgically right now.
Wow, so is she okay?
Thankfully, yes, her vision is fine. But, like, can you imagine she was so close to losing her eye?
That's just awful. It really makes you think about how quickly things can change, how precious life is.
Yeah, it really does. And then we have Amy Schumer, and her story is kind of interesting because it involves the internet.
Yeah, how so?
So she was doing press for something, and people online started commenting on how her face looked like puffier.
Oh, wow.
And at first she didn't really think anything of it, but then some medical professionals chimed in online and suggested she might have Cushing syndrome.
You're kidding. They diagnosed her online.
Well, not really diagnosed, but they suggested it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a real diagnosis, obviously, but it's interesting how online communities can sometimes pick up on things.
Right. Like, it's kind of crowdsourced observation thing.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be helpful. It's not a substitute for a doctor, of course, but it can make you think about things you might not have considered otherwise.
Exactly. So anyway, these online medical pros thought maybe it was because of high cortisol levels or steroid injections.
Ah, and it turns out she had been getting steroid injections for scars from previous surgeries.
Yep, for a breast reduction and her C-section. So basically, the steroid injections were causing the symptoms of Cushing syndrome, which is caused by too much cortisol.
Yeah, and luckily for her, it's a temporary form, so now that she's stopped the injections, her cortisol levels should go back to normal and the symptoms should go away.
Yeah, she's healthy now. It's a crazy story.
It really is. You never know where a diagnosis might come from these days, even the internet.
Exactly. And speaking of unexpected diagnoses, Hailey Bieber had a pretty scary experience back in March 2022. She said it was the scariest moment of her life.
Oh no, what happened?
Well, she was having breakfast with Justin, and suddenly she couldn't speak properly.
No.
And one side of her face started drooping.
Oh my gosh, that's like a stroke.
It was scary. It turned out she had a small blood clot in her brain, what they call a TIA.
TIA, transient ischemic attack, like a mini stroke.
Right, and then they found out she had a PFO, which is like a hole in her heart.
So it's called a patent foramen oval, and it's supposed to close after you're born, but sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, and that's what let the blood clot get to her brain.
Makes sense. So did they fix it?
Yeah, she had a procedure to close the PFO, and she's doing well now.
That's good to hear. And it's a reminder to always take those neurological symptoms seriously, even if they're temporary.
Yeah, you never know what could be going on. And then in the same year, Justin Bieber also had a health scare.
I vaguely remember something about that. What was it?
He got diagnosed with Ramsay-Hunt syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
It's a viral infection that affects the nerves in your ear and face.
Right, and it can cause facial paralysis?
Yeah, he couldn't blink or smile or move one side of his face.
Oh my gosh.
She even had trouble eating. But thankfully, Hailey said he's fully recovered now.
Thank goodness for that. Just goes to show you how these viral infections can have some really unexpected and serious consequences.
Right. And then Jamie Foxx, remember when he was hospitalized in April 2023.
Yeah, that was a big mystery for a while. No one knew what was going on.
Right, it was all very hush-hush.
So what happened?
Well, it turns out he had a brain bleed, which caused a stroke.
Wow.
Yeah, and he said he had this horrible headache, and then he lost like 20 days of memory.
Oh my God, that's awful.
When he woke up from surgery, he couldn't walk, and he had to go through a lot of rehab.
Just goes to show you how serious strokes can be.
And how important it is to get help right away.
Absolutely. And to
Yeah.
put in the work during recovery, it's crucial. And speaking of overcoming serious health challenges, Emilia Clarke, the actress from Game of Thrones,
No, I love her.
she's amazing. She actually survived 2 brain aneurysms.
What, two?
Yeah, it's incredible. The first one happened when she was at the gym.
Oh.
It was a subarachnoid hemorrhage, which is a really serious type of stroke.
Oh, God.
And they had to operate. But during her recovery, she had aphasia, which means she had trouble speaking.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
I know. And then they found another aneurysm, and the first surgery didn't work, so they had to do another one, which was even more invasive.
She's been through so much.
She has, but she's made a full recovery, which is just amazing. Her story is a testament to the resilience of the human body and the incredible advancements in neurosurgery.
It's truly inspiring. And then there's Snoop Dogg's daughter, Corey Broaddus.
Yeah, what happened with her?
She had a really bad stroke in January 2024.
Oh, no, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, and on top of that, she has lupus and kidney problems, so it was really complicated.
Oh my gosh, that's so much to deal with.
I know. She was in the hospital for a long time, and she's still recovering, working on getting her motor skills back.
That's tough. It's a reminder that sometimes health challenges can pile up.
And they can interact with each other in ways that make things even more difficult.
Yeah.
And finally, there's Shailene Woodley, who had this, decade-long health struggle starting in her early 20s.
I didn't know that. What was going on with her?
It wasn't just one thing. She had all these different symptoms.
Like what?
Like, she couldn't hear well, she couldn't walk for very long, and she had digestive problems.
Wow, that's a lot to deal with.
I know. She saw so many doctors, and they gave her all kinds of diagnoses and treatments.
So did they ever figure it out?
Well, she tried both traditional and holistic approaches, and eventually she got better.
That's good to hear.
It took a long time, but she's healthy now.
I bet it was really tough, especially mentally.
It was. She talked about how she was afraid of food and had body image issues.
That's completely understandable. It's so common with chronic illness, how it affects your mind as well as your body.
It's all connected, right? Her story shows how strong and resilient she is.
And it's a reminder that sometimes it takes a long time and a lot of effort to figure out what's wrong and get the right treatment.
So we've talked about all these different health experiences.
Yeah, a lot of them.
What are some of the main takeaways for you? What stands out to you from all these stories?
Well, I think the biggest one is just how unpredictable health can be.
Yeah.
It can be affected by so many different things like accidents, genetics, infections, and even medical treatments. And like we saw with Adam Devine, things from your past can come back to haunt you years later.
Right, like your body remembers.
Exactly. So it's so important to pay attention to what your body's telling you.
Yeah, even if you don't know what's wrong, if something feels off, go see a doctor.
That's right. It's better to be safe than sorry. And Amy Schumer's case shows that sometimes even people online can notice things about your health that you might not be aware of.
It's crazy, right?
It is, but it also shows how connected we are these days and how information can come from anywhere. And then there's Adam Devine and how his childhood accident is causing him problems now.
Like years and years later.
It highlights the long-term effects of trauma, even if you think you're healed.
And even though a lot of these stories are pretty serious, it's also important to remember that people can recover.
Absolutely.
Like Hailey Bieber got help right away and she's fine.
And Emilia Clarke surviving 2 brain aneurysms, that's just incredible.
And Shailene Woodley, she never gave up, and now she's healthy.
Their stories are inspiring, and they show us that the body can heal, even from really serious conditions.
But we also have to remember that everyone's experience is different.
That's so important. What might be a minor thing for one person could be a major thing for someone else.
Exactly. We all have our own unique health journey, and we need to respect that. So by talking about these different experiences,
Yeah.
we hope that it helps you, the listener, to be more proactive about your own health.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, and the more you know about different health issues, the better equipped you are to take care of yourself.
It's a reminder that health is constantly changing.
It is. It's a journey, not a destination.
So before we wrap up, here's something to think about.
Yep.
After hearing all these stories, what are some things your body might be trying to tell you?
That's a great question.
Maybe there are subtle signs you've been ignoring.
It's worth taking a moment to really tune in to what your body's saying.
Exactly. Be proactive and take care of yourself.
Your health is the most important thing you have.
So true.